Hi guys, welcome to this Facebook Live. Brand new week and there's lots lined up to discuss. Top of the mind, it was a good close for the markets. It was a good looking market. You had global cues which continue to be a bit sideways. One can't really say what's going to happen with the US markets. The FANG sell-off is still fairly pronounced. You're still looking at uncertainty as far as Europe goes. But if you come down and talk specifically about Asia, I think the focus this week squarely will be on the G20 summit that happens this Friday and what may transpire in terms of trade talks between the United States and China, whether they are able to ink a trade deal, which is so important from a market sentiment perspective. And you would see perhaps a build-up in momentum for markets world over in anticipation that a deal might come through. Now, whether it will, whether it will not, is something we'll have to wait and watch out for. What's interesting in this entire spectrum is the way you're looking at, expectation building as far as growth estimates go on global growth front, whether it's the growth in China or the growth in the United States. Interestingly, we also have India's GDP numbers coming out this week, and the expectation is that we would surpass 7.5%, come in closer to 8%. If indeed the print is as high as that, then we would be officially touted as the fastest growing global economy in the world, fastest growing economy in the world, surpassing China's benchmark there as well, which is encouraging to see. But I think there are a lot of other parameters which go into determining the future of the outlook that there is as far as India's economy is concerned. There's big news on oil. You all must have already read it. Oil is at $60 to a barrel. That's great news. Is there more downside risk? Perhaps. Is that inflation friendly? Yes. Does it help with our trade balance, our current account situation? Definitely so. The currency situation also has reversed quite significantly. We're talking now sub 71 on the currency against the dollar, or around 71 odd levels, which is fairly encouraging. So all of that just helps the CAD situation. In fact, we've had the ministry talk about how they would be able to limit the CAD to 2.5%. So for the year, that is. So I think all in all things are looking good. Today was a great day for consumer stocks. Look at HUL, 4% higher in the session today, going past 1700. Great move on HUL. The consumer names are particularly active. I just want to tell you about what's happening with the commodity names. The metal stocks are particularly selling out, and that's got to do with the underlying metal or the commodity space, which is also witnessing a fair amount of downward traction. Okay, let me just get in some queries. View on Axis. Again, among corporate lenders, Axis and ICICI Bank are being bunched up together. They are the duo that has underperformed the large cap private banking space. And the big debate in the market is, will they recover post the recent earnings and the leadership transition that both the banks are undergoing? Remains to be seen. I can't talk stocks, but I can just tell you that everybody has these two stocks on their radar. There's an opportunity. Whether that opportunity will translate into returns is something we'll have to wait and watch out for. What else? Abhishek, I did ask Kunal to join us today. Unfortunately, there's been a tragedy and in his family, and I obviously can't reveal details respecting his privacy. But I did ask him to come join in today. He couldn't for some very personal reasons. So I am committed to getting him on this Facebook Live, maybe in the next session, maybe next week when things have eased off. He'll be there. But he spoke a lot about stocks in today's session during the markets, and you could replay some of those videos and get a sense of the stocks that he's liking on the screen. Mid cap, Balasubramanian is asking, mid cap index seems to be consolidated. Will bounce back? Hard to say. Just because it's consolidating, will it bounce back? The fall has been so significant. Unless there's a big trigger, which I don't see coming through, Bala, I don't know what will really lead to a bounce back. If there's a trade deal that happens between US and China, it'll be the rising tide that lifts all boats. So you'll see the markets doing well, and that's perhaps something that can rub off on the broader markets. But difficult to say. It can be sideways and consolidating at a lower level for a while to go. Rahul is asking about IT Pharma. Yeah, those trades might reverse. There could be some profit taking on IT and Pharma. IT particularly rallied quite a bit in the last quarter on the back of a weakening currency. So be mindful of that move on IT. Should I hold Allahabad Bank shares or start purchasing from here? Anupam, wait and watch out for the space in PSU banks. It's not very linear. It's not clear as of now. Yes, there's a PSB bank recap or capital infusion plan which is laid out. But again, remains to be seen how effective that would be. So these are some of the aspects that one needs to essentially focus on. Yes Bank, again, I think there's a fair amount of skepticism around Yes Bank right now from a perception perspective. Very difficult to say where Yes Bank would go from here because it's already at between 200 250. It's been trading in that range, sometimes even sub 200. I didn't check the last tick today, but for Yes Bank, I think there's a fair amount of nervousness on how this whole transition process will be managed. So I think your guess is as good as mine. Your understanding is as good as mine in terms of really evaluating where things go from here. It's not really a technical story on Yes Bank. It's really a fundamental story, and you need to have that faith and confidence that they will come on the right side of trade, in the sense that they'll be able to fix the problems that the bank is facing. And if you have that conviction, then that's a call that you need to take. Metals, Abhishek, this is the last question I'm answering. Metals are down. There's a major commodity sell-off. If China slows down, and the next print on China's Q4 as well as Q1 2019 numbers reflect that it's coming in closer to 6%, which is the baseline on China growth. Remember, China is the biggest consumer of global commodities. So if there's a slowdown there, you know that the commodities market would see a bit of a supply glut with demand. It's basically supply demand, right? So if China, being the biggest consumer, comes down, you can't really build a case for commodities to rally. So just be mindful of that as we go along. So that's just the broad backdrop I can give you on metals. It could be that if the China slowdown is conclusive, that metals could be trending downwards. Prashad is saying, hope we have a blessed day tomorrow in the Bank Nifty. Hope so too. With that, I completely have run out of time. Thanks very much for joining us with this Facebook Live. We'll come tomorrow again. Kunal most probably will be joining us next week. Your request is pending, and I have it well covered with Kunal. I've already discussed it with him. So I'm sorry, I know I told all of you that Kunal will be joining in over the next few days, but sorry about that fact. It won't happen. It'll only, I think, Monday is when he'll come back and be a part of this Facebook Live. But till then, stay tuned. I'll catch you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. To take up some of your queries on the markets. Have a nice day till then.